Yeah.
It's
Do you
crazy.
think, because there are some folks who say that they think that Kamala was put in place to lose on purpose because, well, they're not going to sacrifice the legacy of Joe Biden. Let's sacrifice the legacy of Kamala. What do you think about that?
God, you would like to think like to me, it just seems not very well thought out, which is crazy because they've had years to come up with a strategy. And because I remember for a while, I was like, oh, they're gonna throw in Big Mike. Are they gonna they run Gavin Newsom? Um, there's even rumors now that they might put in Hillary Clinton at the last moment. It just seems like why have they not done a better job coming up with a better candidate? But maybe they just thought, all right, well, we'll get Trump out of the picture, and then people will just be forced to vote for whatever we give them. They'll just be
Yeah.
forced to accept it.
I think what they did was that they wanted Biden out after the debate. And then after the assassination attempt, that was the nail in the coffin. We got to do this. But then they delayed it for as long as possible to try to find a way that could seem at some level legitimate that wouldn't be Kamala. So I think that's all the plan behind the scenes. Like they're all sitting around going like, how can we get Gavin in while making it seem legitimate? But the seem legitimate part is just because the obvious answer is, okay, well then sub the vice president in. But yeah, I think that they really wanted to find a way to get somebody else in and then failed to do that. And then now are stuck with her thinking, well, at least she's going to be better than Joe Biden. I mean, come on, who could be worse at campaigning than Joe Biden is? Well, we found out.
This is an interesting comment from Junior in the chat. Joe Biden knew she couldn't win. That's why he picked her for VP. It's like if you knew she was weak, so maybe he didn't care about, because he probably figured, God, do you think he thought he was going to run for re-election? No, he's old as shit. Maybe he just wasn't thinking that far ahead. He probably was like, let me go with the DEI hire.
Well,
and
she's definitely, the DEI hire thing is for sure. But also and then turn around and Tim Walz becomes the first white male DEI hire where he's the diversity.
Right.
Like,
it comes back around again
to the ticket. Yeah.
Let's try something new with this old white man. The slogan used to be "I'm with her," now it's "Stuck with her." That's great. They should make "I'm stuck with her" bumper stickers. Fealty. Yeah, it's weird to see Democrats panicking because it's like, didn't you guys have time? Like, didn't we all have so much time to think this out?
Yeah, but they also used to have all the levers of social media power, and
yes, that's right. And it's like, maybe this is how they've always been. They just had propaganda on their side and censorship.
They were just, they didn't have Elon, with like having the richest man in the world be on the other team is not what they're used to. But yeah, like opening up a huge hole in the propaganda wing that like they can't dominate anymore. So what you just said about like they're running ads on Twitter, but clips of JD Vance on Theo Vaughn are doing better than paid ads. Because of course, right? Like organic reach of something that people naturally listen to is going to do better than a campaign Dorito video. But the Dorito video, it got plenty of play as well, but for the wrong reasons. But yeah, like I think, like I said, Twitter being owned by our side is huge. And you saw how mad they got when Elon is now like paying people $1 million, like paying random people who sign a petition $1 million because they registered to vote and signed a petition. But it's like the Democrats are outspending the Republicans 3-1 everywhere. And
especially
like,
when Elon does it. Yeah.
Especially, yeah, exactly. And so like they used to be able to, I mean, back in 2020, Hunter Biden laptop story hits in October.
Oh my God, that was so annoying. I was like,
and you can't share.
Really? We're saying that this is fake? Okay.
Right. Well, and the New York Post story, the New York Post story, you couldn't share the link for a week. But yeah, I don't know. I think the like flow of information that we've gotten through Elon, I don't know. I think in the history books, Elon buying Twitter is a bizarre.
He deserves a Nobel Prize. It's not perfect,
totally.
but it's so much better. It's at least giving people hope, and we can say retarded again, which is all I wanted.
Yeah,
really.
The top two things that that I love is hope and being able to say the word retarded. Yeah.
Free speech, namely the R word. Yes. Let me pull up this article. This is very interesting. Thank you to my producer, Fealty, working hard in the back. He sent me this article about, I guess, Kamala just claimed that Trump refused a CNN debate, and his staff said that it was because he was just too exhausted to do it. They're busy spinning. Let me pull up this clippy. There she is, looking exhausted. The joy is gone from Kamala. There's no more joy. They've beaten it out of her. Okay.
As for last night, yet again, Trump not showing up, refused to be a part of a CNN debate. And clearly his staff has been saying he's exhausted. And the sad part about that is he's trying to be president of the United States, probably the toughest job in the world, and he's exhausted. I said last night what I mean, which is the American people are being presented with a very serious decision. As for last night.
Wow, she sucks. She sucks so bad.
Oh, yeah. Did she say clearly his staff is saying that he's too exhausted?
Yeah.
Or is that like, yeah. So I guess, is she guessing at that, or like, is that some kind of report? I'd be curious to find. Yeah.
Whenever she says, let me be clear, she's about to pull something out of her ass.
Right, yep. Right. Yeah, it's basically but she also says so I guess it's something else. It's just a different translation. Yeah, I don't, it's bizarre also to think that, because she evidently, I don't know, I just saw this on Twitter, but that she refused to do Rogan. Like, she didn't do Rogan, and Trump said that he wasn't going to do.
Refused. Interesting.
At least that's what I saw. Again, with the Wild West of Elon's Twitter, I have no idea. I may have liked the tweet.
Yeah. What does Joe Rogan be like? Yeah, okay, I'll do 25 minutes with you, Kamala. Let's keep you comfortable.
Yeah, but yeah, she's going to run out of the like pre-selected focus grouped talking points, just like she does every other time.
Wouldn't that be so great? Then they could finally break her down. Like, I would love to see her forced to do a 3-hour Rogan, and she has to drink an entire bottle of wine. I want to see like what that person has to say.
There we go. Yeah, as soon as she stops saying opportunity economy and just starts, like getting angry and yelling, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we all want that. But yeah, I guess the campaign is having to manage like, it would definitely be worse if she did it. It would definitely be worse. Okay, the numbers would be huge, but not great for us.
This is Kamala. I guess this is after she had a little bit of like a press chat after her. I didn't even know there was going to be a town hall. I didn't know there was something that Trump just elected not to go to. Again, they're just spinning. Kamala Harris, when asked if the construction of a southern border wall would continue in your administration, sidesteps and pivots to her pledge to resurrect the bipartisan border bill. Oh God, what is she going to say now?
Right, but will construction of a southern border wall continue in your administration?
I will tell you that my highest priority is to put the resources into ensuring that our border is secure, which is why I've been very clear.
But how, though?
Bring back up that bipartisan border security bill and make sure that it is brought to my desk so I can sign it into law. The biggest issue that we have right now is that Donald Trump has stood in the way of what would have been a proven.
But how? He hasn't been in office. You've been in office, Kamala.
Part of the solution to the bigger problem, which is that we have a broken immigration system in America and we need to fix it. And we have the tools at hand, but we have on the other side of this election, Donald Trump would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. I intend to fix the problem in a way that is just about practical solutions that are within our arm's reach if we have the commitment to do it.
Yeah. This is all such bullshit, because everyone, even someone who's not super political, can listen to this and go, you've been in office. If you've had the tools, why haven't you done it?
Yeah, if you watch her in her entire campaign, Trump is the incumbent. And so if you didn't know any better, if you weren't living in the country for the last 4 years, you would take it as, oh, she's running against a really terrible incumbent that she thinks is just going to go to the next level next time, which at some level gives credence to Trump's 2020 theories that he really did win the election. But she's acting like he really did win the election, and that she's been sitting around waiting for the reins of power for all this time.
She acts like the underdog. She acts she's very tense. She's not dealing with the stress well.
Yeah. One thing you can't complain about with any Kamala speech, though, is the word count. She finds a way to really push it.
It's like the essays that we would do in like high school or college that had like a certain, you'd have to get to a certain word count and you'd be like, just have long run on sentences. And
Right.
that is why it is, because it is that way. Oh, okay. Let's see a clip of Tim Walz calling Trump Hitler. He's
Great.
so unhinged. To me, he just looks like John McCain with a red face with high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Like,
I do want to see his
have you seen
medication
this
list.
guy? Yeah.
Lipitor's definitely in there.
Viagra.
Look, I don't say this lightly because I didn't, in my 60 damn years, I didn't think I'd ever see a candidate for president praising Adolf Hitler's generals.
Come on.
Talking about using the military against their enemies. And I mean, it's pretty stunning. And I said, look, I recognize I'm on the top of his list, but don't kid yourself. You're somewhere on that list too if you disagree with these people. That's
What?
who they are. Look, I don't say this lightly.
I love the like tone. Also, he's still doing the G. Willikers tone, where he's like, well, "G. Willikers, we got to stop Hitler." Like, I don't know if any general or somebody
sound
was
like a victim.
right.
Oh, gee, he's out there.
Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna come hurt me. Well, we got to stop him. Like, and vote for me. I'm a big knucklehead. Make me, I'm the knucklehead's gonna go stop Hitler.
I'm just a lovable knucklehead, and here is Kamala again. Making a Hitler reference.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired 4-star
She's
general,
so boring.
confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military.
Maybe he was if he said it at all, could have been commenting on their work ethic. Could have been that they're in great shape. They're not like trans,
That's also a funny joke. Like if you're if the generals won't listen to him, they'd be like, I don't know, I could probably use one of those guys like Hitler had. That's a joke. And like what I mean, Gavin McInnes talked about this where they would like take his references from a show, like that were obviously like said in a certain tone, and then quote it as if it's like, wow, and then he said this. I don't know, like it's because Trump is an entertainment figure, you have to read him and hear these quotes that they're doing, like assuming the entertaining voice is going along with it. But if you take it, like you remove the context, put it in text and say it in the Kamala Harris, I'm very concerned voice, then it becomes scary, scary stuff.
Very scary.
That is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
She's wearing those earrings again that give her the answers.
He wants a military.
Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler.
Yeah.
Personally. One that will obey his orders even when he tells them
so afraid. Like, why are they so afraid? Especially the celebrities. They're so like, oh God. Or are they just flipping the script of, when Trump said like, hey, I'm just standing in your way. Like that was a pretty well-known quote that went viral. It's like, are they just mimicking him or they're truly like, oh no, he's going to figure out what we did or he knows what we did.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before, but I think that I think right now the presidency as like written down in the Constitution doesn't exist. It's like everybody's like, oh, if Joe Biden's not running the country, who's the real president? I don't think there is a president. I think the system can kind of function without one guy. And so Kamala at some level is running for that office for I go make appearances, I make the speeches and they shuttle me around. I just try to act charming.
The poster boy. Yeah.
Yeah. And Biden had his ice cream. I'll have my Doritos. Everything will be great. But Trump is actually running for president. So there are two people, one running for a kind of fake office that's a figurehead, and then Trump's running for president. And that's what bothers them. They're like, oh, because really, I don't know if we've had a president in a while. And I don't know when that started, but like, it may have been Biden. It may have been earlier. There are the people who say like, we haven't had a actual president since Kennedy was assassinated. I don't know, but everybody's just, I think there's the president itself, like the presidency has weakened for a very long time. And yeah, Trump actually running for and saying, I'm going to act like a president. I'm going to do the things a president does. I think that's what scares them most is, and of course, because they're going to call that authoritarian, being a president in the way that if somebody were as powerful as FDR was now, they would call that person Hitler, even though that FDR was like
Wow.
fighting to like kill Hitler. So
And
like
in a wheelchair.
yeah, and I'm not an FDR fan, but it's like, okay, he was a president, right? And so if Trump acts like that, or like Andrew Jackson or one of these guys who took on more power and took a little bit more initiative. Yeah, I think that's what's going on, is that we've got two people running for very different offices, both called president.
Two very different jobs. Kamala's probably so pissed that she has to do interviews at all. It's like, I'm not running this. I'm not running shit here. I put on a pantsuit. I get my hair done. It's very stressful for me, but
yeah,
I've been sort of cornered into this.
You can see the stress. It's that's the sad thing, is like, if you get the job, you're going to have to do more interviews. You're going to have to do more speeches, but she's doing fine with the read off the card stuff.
Oh yeah, she's so coached, and you can tell she has a lot of Obama's and Hillary's kind of like mannerisms now.
Yeah,
they have like side by sides of like her and Hillary, and like just like the way she uses her voice and her movements and like the buzzwords. It's very similar.
You can see, she's basically like a non-entity, except when she's nervous. So like, so when she gets nervous, then you're like, oh, there's a person underneath all those, like trying to do an impression of a politician. There's a person under there that's really scared of looking dumb on CNN.
Yes,
but
she
with
forgets
all
to
of
do
this,
the thumb thing.
Right. Yeah. So like when she's not remembering doing the thumb thing and like starts to flounder, then you're like, oh, there is a person, a very scared person, a very evil person, but back there, way back there.
What would she talk about if there wasn't Trump? If she wasn't the anti-Trump candidate?
Right. Yeah. And the closest, because like she's pushed, like abortion, I think, is the only issue that she's really talked about.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it's like opportunity economy. I was raised in a middle-class family. And all that in answer to every question that isn't about women's rights or whatever. Yeah, and again, that turns it more and more into the gender war election, which it doesn't have to be. Like I think we will find out that. Yeah, I will be fascinated to read all of the like demographic breakdown after the fact. I for one am relatively optimistic. I've gotten more optimistic about Trump's chances just in the last few days.
I'm nervous still, but
you're nervous still? Okay. What makes you most nervous?
Because I'm just cynical, and I just 2020 like really like broke my heart, and I feel like I just woke up to so much, and it's enough to make you kind of black pilled, but that's not at the end of the day, like, if God wants Trump to be president, he will make it so. And it's kind of like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if the real votes can outweigh the shenanigans, and you would think too, I think the Republicans have really wised up. I think there have been more efforts to register more Republicans from people like Scott Pressler. So I think they're definitely like, they're wise to the ways in which were used against us 4 years ago.
Did you see John Oliver did a segment about election, what he called, I forget what it was, but about like election interference stuff. And one of his points that he was terrified of was that there were 70, what he called like MAGA conspiracy theorists or whatever, 70 of them across 6 swing states working as poll people or working as like election county level election officials. And it was like, there are thousands of those across those states. And he's mad about 70 guys, but like, that's probably, I don't know how many we had in 2020. I don't know how many like Trumpers. And I'm sure that the thousands of other people, I'm sure those people just couldn't care less who's president, but let's assume these are the only people who really care. It's just bad when Republicans do it because they're not experts. They're the conspiracy theorists. But I think there are more poll watchers. I think that's going to happen. Yeah. And back in 2020, one thing that people don't really talk about too much is the distance that poll watchers had to stand because of social distancing.
Right.
So like it's a great way to go like, yeah. You're technically here poll watching, but COVID means that you can't really watch. You have to stand over there and we'll give you a thumbs up if everything's going good.
And now we can cough all over each other.
Yeah. Paradise.
That's what I like to do. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.